3:45, that stupid alarm clock goes off. First thing I do, get up and get me a little breakfast, and I walk out there to the boat, and I walk all around the boat and listen for that bait tank. Make sure my bait tank's still going, because that's what people don't realize, how much effort it takes to show up with live bait. Check the weather, check the dam schedules, hop in the truck, make sure everything's good, and we take off. I was born and raised here in Knoxville. I kind of realized, at an early age, this was kind of a really unique place. There's blue lines everywhere. There's water everywhere. So growing up here, it was kind of cool to, fish a farm pond or whatever, or hop on your bike and roll on down to Bull Run Creek. I guess if you describe the Tennessee River Valley, it's almost like a tree branch. Down here at the bottom, it's the Tennessee River, and then it comes up and it branches off, and Tennessee River is the main river that, that all these other smaller tributaries come together. The United States government figured out, they looked at all this and said, oh wow, look at the potential. If we were able to dam all these up, we could help with flood control. I think that was one of the main things, flood control, but also power generation. I think some of these middle reservoirs are like the perfect scenario where you do have a decent amount of bait, but you also have year-round cool water. You have your upper level dams, which are typically deeper, Norris, Cherokee, Douglas, and then you go on down the system, the dams get shallower and shallower. Stripers need cold water. The reservoirs below those, Melton Hills, Fort Loudoun, Tellico's and all that, they have year-round cold water. Those fish right there, they have the capabilities to grow huge. In most of these reservoirs right here, they do have a chance to get to, 50 to 60 pounds just because of the environmental factors. Well, when I first started, I didn't really know a whole lot, but I knew there was a really, really good population of fish. We didn't even really know what we were doing. We could catch a skipjack, put it out there, and then it would get attacked. Bam, 30-pounder, bam, 45-pounder, and it was just super easy. I don't think a whole lot of people had done that kind of fishing before, and I just think the fish reacted totally different than they do now. Guiding is, you never know what you're really going to get into, but a lot of it is repetitive. It is, if you have a good pattern, you should know that, hey, these fish are going to be here for this amount of time, and then they might move over to here, and a lot of what I do is just based off the angle of the sun. Fish will stage up in certain areas, and as the sun moves, they might move to another area, and they'll go down a little bit, and so we just go through our progression. When I start a fishing trip, I don't know how it's going to end. I'm just going to go through my progression of what I'm going to try to do to get it to bite, and at the end of the morning, there's sometimes I'm out of ideas, and sometimes there's nothing you can do. You just got to find a dumb fish. Maybe change the size of your bait up, maybe bury the hook to where it's not visible, or like I said, use smaller leaders. Because I know some of these fish we've caught and released, you can tell, you can bring them in. Yeah, this one's been caught before. He's got a hook mark in his mouth. And that's the beauty of catch and release, is we know we're catching the fish we've caught before. I mean, there's going to be people that are going to try to do what I've always done, and of course it works. But sometimes the fish catch on to, certain things. So yeah, you are definitely always looking for not necessarily a new spot, but maybe a new way to target these fish, or new gear. I'm real big on the fluorocarbon now. I used to start it out with mono, and I don't think it really mattered. You probably could have tied straight braid to the hooks back in the day, but now I think these fish have maybe a little conditioned to some things to where you're having to use a little bit lighter fluorocarbon leader, a 6 to 8 foot long fluorocarbon leader. You see that we use stinger hooks now because a lot of times they're just really nitpicking, and that's the only way you'll get one, is to have to use a stinger hook. So I think as the fish get more and more conditioned, yeah, you definitely have to change, and a lot of guys aren't willing to change. They caught them 10 years ago when they were here doing this, and that's what they do, and that's what they've always done. I think that's part of my success is, you know, figuring out exactly the next step to try to get them to bite when they won't bite anything else. When you fish these cool water reservoirs, you have the ability to put them back. When you have these reservoirs with high dissolved oxygen and low temps, they'll go right back. You know, I don't know, it takes 20 years to get a fish 50 pounds, so, you know, they don't grow overnight. So, hey, we've got great fish here, come fish for them. Think about, do you really want to kill another one? You know, do you like eating stripers that much? Or would you rather just catch them? You know, look, we've got dead fish on the wall all over the place. How many do you really need? We want to educate people. We want to use technology to our advantage, spread the word, say, hey, stripers are fun to catch, but man, let them swim. I think that's always been my goal. Enjoy it, let them go, catch them next year when they're bigger.